Meeting. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll begin tonight. Item 1 on our agenda is approval of the December 20th, 2023 commission meeting. Have any corrections or comments?
Go ahead. I had no corrections. I had no corrections. I'll make a motion to approve.
Have a motion, have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 2 is Employee of the Month, Kellie Payne.
All right. So our January 2024 Employee of the Month is Brian Anderson. He has been employed with Carbon County since February of 2007. And Brian was actually nominated by a member of our community who sent in an email. So I'm going to read that. It states, I would recommend consideration of recognition of Brian Anderson, the communication technician for Carbon County, as the Employee of the Month or longer. Brian has always been quick to respond whenever there has been a problem with the local TV channel transmission. He appears to work 24/7 as needed in extreme adverse conditions in meeting an array of problems caused by inclement weather conditions, equipment failures, or other technical issues. Brian meets each challenge without complaining and always remains positive. He is a very valuable asset to our communities. So Brian, you'll please join me. Here's your plaque.
Thank you.
And this awesome email.
Thank you.
They wanted to remain anonymous, so. So I just wanted to say thank you for everything. We appreciate you going out and taking care of all of that, all of the IT staff, but.
Yeah, they help a lot too, so.
You want to say anything, Brian?
Other than thank you, nothing else.
Well, we want to thank you. There's a lot of things you do that are unseen by everybody, but when things don't work, everybody screams. So thanks for responding quickly.
Yeah.
If I could just say a couple things. So Carbon County is kind of right in the middle of the backbone that feeds TV service from the Wasatch Front all the way down to San Juan and all the way out to Daggett County. So we, when there's a problem in our area, it affects larger areas. And so for the most part, they have remote restarts and different things, and they try and keep up with it the best they can. They've used the best technology that we can afford to keep those towers up and running. But there are those situations, those instances where the remote starts don't work, and they do scramble and run up there on snowcats and inclement weather and at all times of the day to fix those. So thank you for all that you do, and thanks for helping to provide that service for not only Carbon County, but for the backbone of eastern Utah.
Yeah, Brian, I echo what these gentlemen say as well. It's great to have a good IT workforce, and you guys do a lot of, and ladies do a lot of things that usually are under the heat of the moment. So thank you for working under pressure as well as you guys do.
Thank
Next is our Super Service Award, Tina Grange.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and start off with the recommendations. So this is our first winner of the new year. And what was said about her is she is amazing. She has amazing customer service and is always willing to give the best service and always very kind. So just a little backstory. This award is going to be presented to Ryan Madsen today with Coyotes Well. Ryan, you can come up. I'll just share a little something. So Coyotes Well, if those that are not familiar, is a new business that just officially opened in June. if anybody has met Ryan, it was probably at Balance Rock or at Happiness Within. But I love her story. So she had a dream to start her own coffee shop. She met her boyfriend at Happiness Within, and they talked about opening their own shop for a long time. So she operates the shop herself and has help from him and also her family on the back end. She has a permanent location now located in Wellington, but she travels around the county to different events and private parties. So I give you Miss Ryan Madsen with Coyotes Well. And there's two of the favorite places that you mentioned. Gift cards to eat. So, do you want to say anything?
Thanks, y'all.
Well, thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The face of tourism and many of our local citizens. It's so nice that you represent our county well. Thank you. Item 4 on the agenda is review and possible adoption of Ordinance 574, a change to the Carbon County zoning district map from mining and grazing to commercial 1 located on a portion of parcel 2A-1656-0000. Maybe I could take this one. The Planning Commission has recommended approving this zone change to us, and a little background on this zone change is east of Wellington, just next to the Savage truck yard, is a fairly large parcel of ground that was purchased by Aaron Sabin on behalf of BX Properties. And they would like to have this zone change so that they can build a Travel America truck stop. It's a 13-acre parcel that's involved in this change, and it fits all of the county plan and goals of keeping that type of a business next to the Highway 6, as well as away from residential homes. So they have made the recommendation that we approve this. Any other questions?
Also, too, Commissioner, sounds like this would be the start of a development out there on the east side. They had some big plans to do some other additional things with possibly even a hotel. So sounds like a great opportunity for our area to kind of grow and maybe capitalize on some of the traffic that comes through.
It's a great thing. I'll make a motion to approve Ordinance 574, a change to the Carbon County zoning district from mining and grazing to C1, located on parcel 2A-1656-0000.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 5 is consideration and possible approval of adjustments to the 2023 tax roll. And again, we have just a few adjustments that have been made since our last meeting. 3, I guess there's 4 different batches that went through, one on December 28th, one on December 19th, I guess I got them backwards here, and one on January 3rd. So there's 3, not 4. One was 2 pages. So we need to approve these as a BOE, don't we?
Yeah.
We do. So we need to adjourn as the Carbon County Commission and re-adjourn as the Board of Equalization. So
I'll make a go ahead.
I was going to say, so moved.
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so now we can consider these changes to the tax roll for 2023. I think there's too many parcels to read them all in, so we'll just have them in our record.
And there's various reasons for these adjustments. They're not all.
Yeah, there are primary residential exemptions and some land issues that were not taken care of prior to the tax rolls being closed, or the Board of Equalization being finished up.
Do we want to make a motion on each one or as a group?
Last time we did them as a group.
I'll make a motion that we approve the adjustments to the 2023 tax rolls as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn from the Board of Equalization and return to be the Carbon County Commission.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're back in. Commission meeting. The only other item on our agenda tonight, I think, is we have talked about trying to do a quick update, a report of 2023, since we're starting into a new year. So, Commissioner Martinez, do you want to start with some of the things you've got noted?
Sure. These are just some of the bigger items that kind of stuck out at me, and maybe a couple are controversial or whatever, but I just want to mention one of them was we signed last year an access agreement with UDOT for studying the road between Martin and Carbonville. That started a little bit of conversation about roundabouts. People got a little bit worked up. There was a talk about a division, a divider between the highways. There's talks of stoplights. There's talks of overpasses. But the one thing that I want to press upon people is that we are talking about a solution there. I don't know that there's a right solution, but if we're not neglecting it, we're trying to adjust and see what the best solution is and how we can move forward on some phased approaches there. One thing too that I think it's kind of needs to have a little notice on it is that the sale of land and surplus equipment. We've sold some old heavy-duty equipment that's no value to the county. Others have found them purposeful for them. But some of the land sales that we've done, we've sold nearly 15 acres out the industrial park for Intermark Steel to build a new facility, which will bring employment and more opportunity to this community. We had sold some lots out in Wellington to the AOG for the self-help home building program. So that'll bring more opportunity for younger families to build houses and be able to start their lives and moving forward. The other one too, along with that, is the development of the new AOG building out on the fairgrounds. The services that they provide, from weatherization to food bank to just the loan programs that they have to help businesses start up. It's just a great new facility for them. Some other things, the tourism board, Tina's left, but the tourism board, what their help has been with the kiosks that they put around the community, gas stations helper, the shooting range, some of the wayfinding signs, if you haven't seen what they've done out at the fairgrounds and at North Springs as well. Just the little things to beautify and make things a little bit nicer. I don't know if we really want to talk about the FAA, kind of some of the news you got today with maybe being able to sell some land and around a racetrack. So I'll maybe let you touch on that. But USU Eastern as well, and tying in with the airport, the pilots program we already have out there. More to come out there with a potential mechanics program. Let you speak to that. And then one thing too, I think it's very important for our community is just last month we passed a resolution supporting energy development in this area. We're not trying to supersede or go in front or close any of the coal opportunities here, but we are standing up saying that nuclear is something that we would be able to support. And I think that speaks volumes. I think we always want to be known as an energy corridor. And to have that in our back pocket, I think, is great. So those are some of the highlights that I'd like to touch on.
Thank you. Want to take a minute?
Sure. Going back a little bit to the tourism department, this year there was a lot of work put in by our tourism department. They did an SPX tour. It's kind of a I can't remember the acronym, but it's all about knowing the area, taking care of it, but enjoying it. And we had a whole lot of people come down for that. There was a geo tour as well that we kicked off this year for people that are doing the geocaches. And we had a large crowd come for that, and they really enjoyed it. They want new caches next year. They want to see new areas. And we had people from all around the country that came to that. It's a lot bigger deal than I knew it was. They also put on a first ever what they called a color ride. It's a Jeep tour where we started in Schofield and drove Skyline Drive and saw some of it was right during the colors changing on the mountain, and that was really successful. People wanted to sign up for next year the day that they finished their tour, so that was very successful. They've done a lot of other social media stuff and work with our ad agency, developing more advertisement for our area. We started advertising in the Salt Lake Airport and a few other places, and it's working. Our tourism dollars overall, we exceeded our budget again. This is several years in a row we've exceeded the budget. And the other thing that we've done with some of that money is we've been able to continue our payments to help fund the event center. But now we're looking at other areas of the county to be able to use that money to help maintain the roads in 9 Mile, maybe pick some of the roads out at the gun range and things like that. So it's the work they're doing is paying off, and it's successful.
Before you move off that, would you explain just what the tourism dollars are, where they come from?
Sure. So the tourism dollars are specific to transient room tax and restaurant tax. So TRT is transient room tax, and TRCC is the restaurant tax. There's a percentage of every hotel stay that's purchased in our county. That percentage then comes to the county to due to the beautification projects, to put up more better signage, to develop trails, to do these projects, to pay for some of the facilities we have. And same with the TRCC. They both have a little bit different ways that you can use the money, but that's where the money comes from, is from the visitors that come into our community. And then we invest that back into tourism related infrastructure and projects to continue to grow that pot and make sure that the hotels are taken care of, that people continue to use the hotels and the restaurants. Thank you. And then the other thing, and Tony alluded to that, is this year we were able to receive a grant out at the airport to add to the USU Eastern's offerings out there. We brought in the flight program a few years ago, and they're maxed out. They're limited by the number of planes that they can have here, and they keep bringing planes and then flying them back to Logan as they have time. But the other part of that program is the mechanics program, and we received a grant this year to build a facility that will be the first part, or the phase 1 of that facility. It'll be a hangar that will house their mechanics program. In the future, we'd like to build some more hangars that they could lease to house more of those aircraft here. But it's really exciting to see the growth that's happening out there. And the real goal for all of this is to get an MRO, or a maintenance repair operation, located at the airport, which would bring additional jobs and be a place for those mechanics to then, once they get their degree, start working in that facility. I think that's all I have.
It's good. A couple things that I'll highlight would be out along Ridge Road along the railroad spur that leads to the Savage coal loadout. We've identified that area as where we anticipate a lot of industrial growth should occur. And two things that have happened this year that are significant. One is a long sewer line that ran from Price River right there by Highway 6 all the way south to Ridge Road. It kind of goes through the middle of this property where we anticipate this work will happen in the future, or the industries might locate. That has been finished. And we also have entered into a purchase agreement for a large portion of property on the west side of the railroad spur. And in that request, it not only included land, but 550 shares of water, which was significant. And along with that, we received approval for an appropriation grant from the federal government through Congressman Curtis's office. That money should already have been here, but the federal government's attempts to adopt a budget that still are in limbo. We won't see a check until they adopt a budget. So as soon as that happens, we think we'll be able to finish that deal and purchase the property. One other thing that's been significant is Shani Wilson, with our economic development efforts, leads a board that's been set up to accept a grant from the state for $200,000, and that money is used to help with business expansion and growth, or even new startups. And in 2023, there were about 28 applications that came in for this money. Anyone who applied for the money had to actually spend, for example, $10,000 up front, and then they could turn those receipts in and receive a 50% grant back of $5,000. And so there was $210,000 available this year, and we had 20 applicants, and all of that money was approved to be handed out. There's still some of those businesses that are in the process of finishing their expansion and have not received the money yet, but that should happen. I think the significant part for me is the two things that the board requires in approving a project, and it would be that there is additional tax money that can come in from expansion of business, and also that they hire additional people. And prior to 2023, final numbers, there were 85 people hired through the program from the previous 2 years. So we're probably pushing around 100 new jobs that have been created with these grant money. Something else would be the Bear Fire that happened a couple of years ago. There was an extensive project in Spring Canyon, in Bear Canyon, and also in Crandall Canyon that was finished up this spring to mitigate the heavy erosion problems that you've watched up the canyon. In fact, the last storm took out Highway 6 for a few days while repairs had to be made, but we've done extensive work up there. The federal government paid for 75% of that work. 25% of it had to be paid for by those that were benefited by it, and there are two areas that the county was responsible for that match money, and that was in Spring Canyon and Bear Canyon. Pacific Corp, Rocky Mountain Power, helped in Bear Canyon with the dollars because there's a substation in there, and they were very generous in helping with that. And then The other canyon up Crandall Canyon, where we've seen all the damage on Highway 6, Utah Department of Transportation was a major contributor to the match there, as well as one private landowner further up the canyon. And then last, I think one thing that would be interesting is the BLM has done some, they're not completely finished with the interpretive signage in 9 Mile Canyon, at least the plan of how to move forward. And just a few weeks ago, the BLM met with Daniel Luke, our road supervisor, and we went out up the canyon with their staff, and they've identified 3 places where they would like to partner with the county, as well as the oil company out there and the BLM, in building 3 parking lots, one at the first site, which that's what it's called, another parking lot at the Owl Panel, and a third one at the Big Buffalo. And these will be constructed this year. This will be the first of probably at least 3 projects. So 3 parking lots with the trails will be developed from the parking lot to the petroglyphs, and then 3 more in 2025, and possibly 3 more in 2026. So there'll be an ongoing effort there to get 9 Mile in better shape. The only thing that the BLM has not made the final decision on, and that is actually the signs that would be at each one of these locations. They're waiting for the tribes to respond to a request from them of what they think should be on those interpretive signs. So that's coming, but they did indicate that they will put up some temporary signs at each of these parking lots that will help people know where they're going out there.
That's great.
Think of anything else?
Oh, quite a bit, but time is short.
It's been a busy year. I just personally would like to thank all of our departments. Everyone's done a super job this year, and a lot of good things have happened. And it's pretty easy for the public to never see what really goes on and to highlight some of the problems that are brought to the forefront. But there's so much more good that goes on than the bad, and the public, it would be just good for us to report that things aren't, they're not bad, and we're getting a lot of things done. And
Yeah, I also, just to echo what Commissioner Jensen said, is really, really happy with the employees. We have a really good staff, a really good team, and to see over the last 5 years how that's changed and how it's grown, and how it just seems that we have a lot of things going on, but can multitask and do a lot of good. So I just want to thank the staff and what they do every day, and also these 2 commissioners as well, very outstanding people, and it's an honor to serve with them.
thank you. Goes both ways.
Likewise. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned. Thank you.